Well, hello, everybody. Okay, so what am I jumping into your feed at 4:45 on a Tuesday? And if you know me well, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. If not, hey, man, I am so glad you got to see me. If you're listening to this just on audio at a later date, I would love for you to jump over to YouTube and Facebook and join me in those communities. I'm trying to build up my my YouTube account. So if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, get your ass over and hit the subscribe and like button, share all that other stuff. All right, man. So what is this? This is short episodes that I do, one of two different types of that I do. And it's about 10 to 15 minutes long, whatever's in my heart and on my mind and just shit I want to talk about. And it ranges from everything of me bitching or telling a story. And today is story time. On opposite weeks, I have 60 to 90 minutes, and it's me and a guest or two on, and we go in all sorts of different directions. And man, do I have some heavy hitters coming up. So would love for you to keep an eye out for that. My latest episode is with Hunter. Dude's a family man out there hustling, trying to make business happen. Awesome episode. You can learn a lot. I did. And plus, he's just a fucking cool dude. So check that out. And everything that I do on this project, it's me. I'm by myself. Everything I handle, everything, admin work, the show, the biz, all that good stuff. So I'm asking you for some help. If you like what I've got going on here, hit a 5-star rating. And I found out that you can do a 5-star rating on each episode, not just the show. So anything there would be great. Whatever platform that you're listening to this on, even if you don't listen to it on a platform, jump over, click some stars, write a review. Tell a friend or 7. Any of that is greatly appreciated. And of course, speaking of help, these two companies I'm about to throw at you, I've been using for many years, and I use on the regular. And what's cool is they don't give me any shit about all the shit that I give out on this show. I love what they stand for. They're building communities. They're all local people. And I would just love for you to support them. Of course, links are in the show notes. First up, Craig over at High Speed Daddy. This dude has backpacks, lunchboxes, clothing, all sorts of great stuff for just about every occasion. Jump over, check him out. And then Charmaine and the crew down at in the Grand Canyon State. And that's a high-quality CBD product. I'm telling you, man, I've been using this stuff for over a decade. If you're using CBD product, and you get it from like the gas station or the grocery store or like a drugstore, just throw that shit in the trash. Check these guys out. Love what they do. Love what they stand for. And again, proud to be part of that community. All right. And I think that's about it. I'm going to get into this. Oh, and anything you need to know about the show, of course, is on the website. Merch, blogs, pictures. You can get a hold of me. Sign up for the newsletter. That's fun. I don't really bombard too many of them, maybe once every 90 days or so. And they're just super lighthearted, and you could probably get a chuckle out of them, brighten up your day a bit. All right, man. Here we go. So something happened to me. A memory came across my Facebook feed, social media feed. It's kind of fun, right? They pump you memories. And it's about 8 years ago when I lost the ability to walk. I had a spinal cord injury, and a lot of you guys, people listening, have heard the story, but you'll probably get some new information. And I got an unbelievable amount of new listeners, which is fucking amazing. So thank you, everybody, for that. And to preempt that, the reason I got thinking of the memory popped up, and I was like, oh, cool, and I kind of take it for granted. I realize I take this for granted because I went to court the other day for work, and no big deal. Not like the old days in court, but for work, nothing, I just had to represent the company, which is cool. And I always enjoy seeing how things work and being part of that. And I went to the wrong courthouse, and I was heading back. I was running late because court was at 9. And in my world, if 9 o'clock, you got to be there at 8:45. So I'm running a little late, get through security, and I always carry a knife. A man without a knife is like a wolf without teeth. And I was walking to court, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot. I got my knife with me. And I put it in this planner. and like this is downtown Jersey City, and I hid it in this planter outside this guy's house, but I did get it back. Anyway, I digress. So I get through security, and I said, "Hey, sir, can you tell me where this courtroom is?" He goes, "Yep, third floor. You can take the elevator or the stairs." I looked at the elevator. There's a line about 7 people, and this courthouse is like 200 years old, and the elevator is about as big as a refrigerator. And I was like, "Fuck that." Hit the stairs 4 at a time, got to the top, 3 stories. I'm not bragging, but my legs didn't hurt and I wasn't out of breath. And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking cool." All right. As you know, if you don't, I go to the gym a lot. I try to stay as healthy as possible. And by the way, man, I just got my physical, fucking green lights all the way across. Ding. So 278 pounds at 6 foot. Just going to throw that out there. Woo. So then I get into court and I sit, and you can't even look at your phone. The guy was a fucking Nazi, which, hey, man, he's doing his job. I respect that. So I'm sitting there, and it goes through my mind about seeing this memory of losing my ability to walk and how much I just took for granted that I could bounce up 3 flights of stairs. And then, of course, my memory, I start going down the rabbit hole, and I'm going to tell the story. And those of you who heard it, well, you're about to hear it again. And those of you who didn't heard it, here you go. And so my wife and I, back in the day, we would volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. And what that is you build a home for the less fortunate. It's a company that you volunteer, you go there. The general contractor in the morning says, "You're all on the lawn." And he starts ripping off things that need to be done. And who has that ability? And he says, "Tongue and groove, kitchen wood floor." And I went, "Fuck, that's hard." God damn, I didn't expect to work that hard today, but I did my little alligator arm, and this old dude next to me put up his arm. So him and I start banging away at this floor. And if you ever did a tongue and groove wood floor, it's work. We'll just put it that way. And me and this old dude, man, we hit it off right away. We're talking shit to each other, and he's calling me some old school pussy names. And oh man, it was great. And where'd I learn how to cut? Where'd I learn how to measure? Must be where I grew up. An inch is different. And I make inch jokes, measure jokes. If you're a guy, you understand. If you're a woman listening, ask your man about measurement jokes. But I stood up this one time, and I was getting sore. And I stood up, and I felt and heard a pop in my back, like breaking a twig. And I was like, "Oh man, that's going to hurt tomorrow." Because at that time in my life, I would always hurt my back. Everybody knows, your back gets sore and you stay off it for a couple of days. You throw some heat on it, you sleep it off, no big deal. And that's what I thought. Finished the job, because that's what you do. I finished the job. I drove home, and I told my wife now, I said, "Holy cow, man, my back is not feeling good. So I'm going to go and do this." So I put some heat pads on my back, throw like 6 Tylenol in me, go to bed. Wake up at like 2 in the morning, and I can't feel nothing from my waist down. And I was like, okay, this is not cool. Wake up my wife. Long story short, we realized that I'm not in a good spot. And of course, ambulance comes. These 2 young ladies were fucking gems, but they were 5 foot tall and weighed 100 pounds each, and not the smallest guy in the world, but they were troopers. I commend them. So I get put in the gurney, hospital, go to the hospital. I didn't find this out until after, but they take me off the gurney from the ambulance, and they slide me across on the gurney to the hospital. And they did not put one of those boards down, and they bumped my back, and I screamed. I remember the scream. It made my throat hoarse. Screamed like a 3-year-old girl that just shriek. And I remember this lady, this nurse above me, I could still see her to this day as I'm looking at her now. And she looked over at somebody out of my sight line, says, "Well, at least we know he's not faking it." And they start pumping me full of drugs to try to get rid of the pain. Can't do it. And she explains to me that they gave me all these drugs. You're still in pain, so we're going to put you in twilight. And as she's talking, they put me in twilight, and holy shit. No wonder people fake being hurt to get that drug. Wow. Still remember to this day. But it was cool because it was like the first time I really fell in love with my wife. It was like this warm, it was, oh my God, it was amazing. So I wake up in a hospital room, of course, IV drip of morphine. Still can't feel nothing from my waist down, can't move my legs, can't do any of that. It's like 4:30 in the morning. This dude comes running in, bigger guy. Looks like Columbo without any coat. And he's got all these papers and it's all disheveled. He's all disheveled. And he comes in, he looks at me and going up and down like this, looking at me up and down. And he goes, "So what'd you do?" I go, I guess I fucked up my back. He's like, yeah, I see right here. And he out rolls a CAT scan. He goes, "I knew you were a bigger guy by the amount of drugs they were giving you, but okay, yeah, you're pretty messed up." He leaves. I was like, "What the fuck was that? Who was that?" And this lady, the night nurse, comes in and says, "Oh my God, he's going to take your case. This is amazing." I'm like, "That guy that just left?" And she was like, "Yeah." And jumped to the end a little bit. I found out that he's a world-renowned neurosurgeon, was Ronald Reagan's neurosurgeon. And this guy was like, well-known, fucking amazing. I didn't know it at the time. So he comes in the next day, still all disheveled and everything. And he looks down at me and he seems a little more with it. And he's like, "Okay, so this is what happened. Your disc in the back, it looks like you ever bite into a cheeseburger and all the shit comes out the other end." He goes, "Basically, that's what happened to your disc. It's pinching all the nerves. That's why you can't do anything from the waist down." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "You might defecate all over the place or urinate all over the place because you don't have function of that." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "But I'm gonna fix you up, but this is the date that we can't do it until this day." And I said, "Why can't we have the operation until this day?" And he says, "Because I'm not going to do it without my neurosurgeon. And because we're going through the front and I want my neurosurgeon. So we're not going to do it this day." And I go, "So I have to stay here until then?" And he looks me up and down on the legs and he looks right at me and goes, "Where the fuck are you going to go?" And I was like, "I love you, dude. What amazing." He knows me. He just got my bedside manner. So days later, I was in there for about a week. And he comes in the night before and said, "This is what we're going to do." And he had this little piece. And he says, "We're going to try to put this in your back." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "You're healthy. Your bone structure looks good. Your blood works amazing, this, that, and the other. So if there's not too much damage back there, I want to put this piece in it and you'll get 90% of your mobility back." I said, "Fuck, dude, that'd be amazing." And he goes, "If not," he goes, "Oh, sorry, back up a little bit." He goes, "I got 3 options, A, B, and C. A, put this piece in, 90% mobility. B, we fuse everything together and you got like 55, 60%. I was like, "Shit, okay, all right." And he turns and starts walking away. And I was like, "See?" And he just kind of waves and goes, "You never walk again." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that just his demeanor was amazing." It might sound weird, but it worked for us. Still love him to this day. And so day comes with surgery. I'm prepped. We're down in wherever, down by the surgical room. And we're in this little room with just curtains around it. And my wife and I are talking. And I could hear him talking. So I can hear him coming. And it's like 5 a.m. or something. And I'm like, oh, and every time I've seen him to this point, he looks disheveled. Got glasses on. His hair's messed up. He's always carrying he looks like somebody's late for class, paper sticking out everywhere. And so he whips the curtain open. Clean cut, hair slicked back, literally rose-colored glasses, clean scrubs, looks fucking like you would think a doctor would look like. Still talking the same way. All right, here we're going to go to mile minute. So he tells my wife, "I'll call you when the surgery's done." So then I come out of recovery and I see my wife as I'm being put in the room. And I come out of it a little bit. I'm still pretty drugged up. I come out of it a little bit, and there she is, and one of our girlfriends, friends of the family, she was a nurse at the time in that hospital. So she stopped over. And I remember seeing her as I passed by, and she gave me a kiss on the forehead. My wife, by the way, not the friend of the family. And they put me in my room, and I passed out again for like 4 hours. And my wife says, you were giggling, smiling, and laughing the whole time. I said, baby, I just went on the most fucking phenomenal trip I've ever been on. It was amazing. She goes, what do you remember of it? And I said, not much. The only thing I remember, the theatrical mask, the ones that, one's smiling, one's sad, they were talking to me. And then the vanilla Oreos, the yellow ones or whatever they call them, just those spinning. It's the only thing I remember. But man, it felt amazing. Oh my God, what a trip. But wake up, hanging out a little bit. 9:30 that night, physical trainer stops up. Get out of bed. What? I just had fucking back surgery for not walking over a week. Yep, get out of bed. With no shortage of major bitching from me, I get out of bed and get one of them walkers. I'm standing under my own power. I can feel my legs. I can move my toes. This is amazing. Walk down the hallway, go into her physical therapy room. Got a toilet in there, little steps, a sink. I tell you what, if you've never had a back injury, you don't know how well you have it just bending over the sink just a little bit to brush your teeth. If you've had a back injury, I want to know about that and have recovered. And God, I hope you have recovered from it. Because a week in the hospital, a little over a week in the hospital, laying in a bed when I can't move, I got thinking about, I used to do some volunteer work with vets, and we go to the hospital where they're there for years in a bed. Dude, God bless you. Oh my God. To whoever is in that condition, my heart is fully in your corner because I don't think I could make it. So there's that. But going into this physical therapy room, here it is. Big as the wall, painted. Motion is lotion. I literally started crying, not like a big tear, like waterworks. It was extremely emotional for me. It still is to this day. That's why you see it all over my site, because I do believe motion is lotion. We are meant to move. Human bodies are meant to move, pick things up, drag things, carry things, bend over, all sorts of crazy shit. We're not meant to sit in a chair like this for very long, like I am, or in a car, all that good stuff. So I've made a full recovery. That was 8 years ago. I've been going 10,000 miles an hour ever since, 10,000 RPMs ever since. And I am grateful. No, I can't say, I'd be lying to you if I told you I was grateful every day, because I don't think about it every day. It's one of those things, once in a while it comes up, and then I'm very grateful that I'm able to move like I am. And I work very hard in the gym to keep exercises that I learned from my physical therapist and my neurosurgeon. I still do most of those exercises to this day to keep my back strong. So it was cool. So in closing, I guess the memory was cool. It was cool to recognize my ability to get up the stairs, knowing that at one point I couldn't walk. I couldn't do any of that. So if you're in that condition permanently, my heart is out for you. You want to talk about it? You want to tell a story for it? Man, I would love to have you on. So if you're have suffered from a catastrophic spinal injury or any kind of injury like that, and it's completely flipped your life in a different direction, man, you want to come on and raise awareness of whatever you're doing, please reach out to me. And if you have not gotten injured and are very healthy, feel blessed. I'm telling you, quite a thing, man. So take care of yourself. Take care of the ones you love and the people around you. I'm going to get you out of here because I know you got shit to do, and I'm going to go get my little man. And then later this evening, I got a a heavy hitter. We're going to be talking on the mic as well. But you want to get a hold of me, Instagram or my website, brawpodcast.com. And don't forget with Liv Rishi, High Speed Daddy, 5-star rating, tell a friend or 7. Yep. And keep kicking ass. And remember, motion is lotion.